and welcome to Up the Villa podcast. If you are new and you are watching, just subscribe for us, help us out, help us get through these turgid times ahead. Your support has been massive. If you can vote for us for the Football Content Awards on their website, that would be highly appreciated. We're going for Best New Content Creators. And hopefully we can win an award. But we are back to the consistent Villa side of things, as Steven Gerrard has mentioned numerous times. He wants us to be consistent this season, and we are following the trait as normal. We are consistently losing. So well done, Villa. We're keeping it up. We've took our form from last season into this season, and it is another loss. I think we said before, we did our season predictions last season that we wanted to, and we wouldn't.
Can we do them again?
We wouldn't be as worse as last season, losing 18 games, but we've lost 3 out of our last 4. So I'm lost for words. I really am. Any of you, go and check out our fan cam. It was a real honest fan cam, raw emotions straight after the game. And hopefully here we can try and be a little bit calmer, but we'll delve into it. We'll delve into everything that is going wrong. But Justin, you were at the game, season ticket holder. What did you make of it?
When you say we're going to delve into everything that's going wrong, how long have we got? About 4 hours. It's disappointing, isn't it? It's almost unbelievable to be here again, isn't it? After we've seen this so many times in the not too distant past, last 10 years really. Since 2010, it's been a pretty depressing time to be a Villa fan. We obviously saw the big upturn with Dean Smith as his arrival. And probably, I was just looking actually, he's probably the last Villa manager out the last 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, who's been the only manager that we've seen an upward curve really in performances, results, and he's left the club in a better position than he took it over in, and the rest haven't. From Alex McLeish, Paul Lambert, Tim Sherwood, Remy Gard, Di Matteo, Bruce. None of them could get the team going. None of them improved us at all. Everyone that left out of them lot left us in a much worse position than they inherited the team in. Whoever inherited the side from the last manager had to sort out all the players that the other manager had left, and Dean Smith came in, turned us around, got us promoted, stabilised us. Yes, we went slightly backwards, which led to his demise and his leaving the club. And at that point, we really, really felt that we was in a position to really take off, that we could, employ the manager that would be to take us to the next level, the next phase of the Premier League. And Gerrard was that man, and he's had a long time now. He's not been here 5 minutes. He's had a lot of games.
Well, technically 2 transfer windows.
Yeah, 2 transfer windows where he's brought in, arguably, regardless of their current form on the pitch, and we can argue all day long about who's playing well and who's not playing well, but he's brought in quality signings that have all performed pretty well in their careers, and we're not improving. We are just not improving where it matters on that pitch for those 90 minutes, which is realistically all we care about. And we're not seeing any improvement at all.
So let's just talk a bit about Gerrard before we get into the game then. So my thoughts on it now are, he's been here now under a year, hasn't he? And we were continually told the remit last season was to stabilise us, to get us out of the mess that we were in. So it was to stay up, basically, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then this season, he put a number on it. He put the number 7 on it. So his words were he wanted us to finish top 7 this season. And I'm just yet to see anything tactically. I'm yet to see a forward-thinking coach. I'm yet to see a style of play. I see the formation as clear as day. I can tell you exactly what he's trying to do with the formation, but it just simply is not working. Take today, for example, right? Well in the game, nothing in that game first half, absolutely nothing, right? 2 evenly matched teams. forward-thinking David Moyes, half-time, takes off Emerson and brings on Ben Rama. First positive change. Then West Ham start motoring in their system, start to take control, and we're just waiting and waiting and waiting for something to change. We're waiting for West Ham to score. That's what we're waiting for. And then we change, right? And this is what I'm trying to say about Gerrard. Too slow, too passive. Substitutions, like for like every time. It's never a formation change. It's just take Louise off, bring Ramsey on, take Ings off, bring Bailey on. It's just not enough. And I'm looking at someone like Graham Potter on the budget that he's got, and they're a fantastic, fantastic football coach with a great philosophy. And I am jealous to bits of what Brighton have got and what they are building there, because he's a fantastic coach. And all I see at Villa is a car crash. Bale left at the end of last season. You're a coach that you brought down from Rangers. Bizarre. You then bring in a manager from Blackpool as your coach. Didn't even go on the pre-season tour. Bizarre. Rumblings around on the training pitch. They're not happy. We're not happy. Bailey's not happy. His dad's not happy. It's just one big mess that just absolutely stinks. And I'm the most positive, optimistic Villa fan you can see going, but you have to say what you can see. And in Gerrard's time as a manager, I've seen nothing. All I've been doing is clinging on to the hope of that he can get it right. And that is evaporating now, because for me, he's had long enough. He's had a pre-season. He's had 20-odd games last season. He started the season crap. It's still the same stuff we were saying last season, and we were trying to get rid of that. You know, we've got fantastic owners who want to knock down a stand. They're building a Brookvale Academy. They're pumping money into the youth system. But what is happening on this pitch just isn't matching. It's a complete polar opposite to what the owners want, to what us as fans are paying our money for. It's just night and day with what we're seeing on that football pitch. And I'm sorry, but I just don't think he's got it in him to turn it round. I mean, we're going to get absolutely blitzed at the Emirates. Absolutely. We're going to get torn to shreds. The amount of pace they've got in their side, the way Jesus is moving around that football pitch. Then we've got Man City. I just can't see where it's going to get any better, because there's no positives. No, the only positive we had was the fact that we used to leave Rendier on the bench, and we used to bring him off the bench to hopefully he can ignite us and change the game. But even that weren't happening today.
I think one of the most starkest things is all of the statistics that come out. I can't remember a very positive statistic about his reign so far as manager. I mean, this one here, Villa Analytics, has dropped an absolute unbelievable one. Bournemouth, Crystal Palace and West Ham have won 3 out of their 12 Premier League games combined so far this season. All 3 of those wins were against Aston Villa. We are just too easy to play against. Tactically, he doesn't seem to have the nous to set a team out to play against another team's philosophy and style and formation. And in game, he doesn't seem to have the ability or the nous to be able to change the game in a positive way. If it starts badly in a game, it generally stays bad. And if it starts well, we can't keep that momentum up in a game.
It generally gets worse.
Well, yeah. I mean, today I was sitting there at half time, and I was talking to Dave, who was sit by, and we were both saying that's one of the best first halves I've seen for a while from Villa. Now, it wasn't brilliant. It wasn't perfect. There was still things we could have done better. The final third, there was nothing in the final third. We didn't create too many chances. But if that goal had stood, the one that was ruled out for going out, we'd have gone in at half time. We controlled the game much better. The shape was much better. The fans were quite happy, I think, overall. and we'd have said, yeah, this is a step in the right direction. And I just thought at half time, if we could just keep that level or raise it up a little bit, then we'll be all right in this game. West Ham, you can see that they're lacking confidence, they're lacking a bit of belief. The players that they've undoubted quality they've got, the passes were going astray. They were struggling a little bit. The fans were, when the away fans are singing, chanting because they've had a shot on target, they've had a bad start to the season. And then come out second half, David Moyes, decades of experience in the Premier League. He's obviously got into half time. He's looked at what's happened. He's decided on a tactical change, putting Fornals out on the left, changing it around a little bit, giving him a bit of a motivational pep talk. You would think, we've had a shit season so far, lads, but we've come here, and quite frankly, if that's the best they've got, we'll be fine in this game. Step it up a gear, get a bit more confident in the game, go for it a little bit more, push on them a bit more, and see where it takes you. And we wilted, and that's it's unforgivable, really, because it's not that difficult to raise your levels slightly.
But
And they did it, and we couldn't react to it.
What I think happened in that game is, especially first half, I was watching closely Souček and Rice because I thought we did well first half, and they were sort of 5-10 yards in their own half, right? Now, when Douglas Luiz went off that football pitch, they were around 20 yards into our half, camped in. Their positions had moved forward, and they were in our own half, pinning us back. And I just felt you might want to bring Ramsey on and get him driving forward, but you're trying to compete with that midfield against
you are. I actually think what his thought process behind that was because West Ham had come out in the second half, and they, like you say, they'd gained more momentum, and they'd pinned us back more. I think he was thinking that they're now starting to dominate the middle of the park more. So what shall I do? How can I counteract that? So I think he was thinking, put Ramsey on, who can carry the ball better, and hopefully that will negate what they've done and push them back, because they've all of a sudden they've got a different type of centre midfielder on the pitch, one that just doesn't sit and dictate, one that picks the ball up and runs. But I think what that did was it allowed, they almost ignored Ramsey to come on the pitch and just carried on pushing forward. And because Ramsey's more of an offensive centre midfielder, it opened up more space in behind, which allowed them probably a little bit more space. I'm not saying that was the direct reason why Fornals got that space and had the shot, but it might have helped, because in the first half, Luiz, McGinn and Kamara were quite tight as a unit, really. They were moving left and right together, and it was working okay.
Yeah. Right.
But this is what we're saying tactically.
Yeah.
Tactically, he gets it wrong. Substitutions, he gets them wrong. I'm not sure the lad that came on the fan cam. He said, and it's a great point, that it's the same substitutions every game.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not working, I'll stick him on. I'll stick Buendia for Coutinho. I'll just change him over if one of them's not working, which is a great thing. But sometimes you have to have a different plan. And then we ended up with the Steve Bruce school of
chuck any forward on.
Let's just chuck every single forward you've got on the bench and hope for the best.
So let's have a little look at this then. So we had 58% possession, 9 shots, 3 on target, 4 off target. I can't even tell you what shots on target they were.
I'd say that most of them was first half.
Yeah, I can't even remember. 3
maybe
corners,
the last 5 minutes.
2 offsides. We made 580 passes, 84% passing accuracy. Average position for this game, I thought Kamara, Luiz did really well first half. I thought that was really good, but you can see how majority of our attacks always come down the left-hand side. Very, very chaotic on this left-hand side. Not sure what was happening on the right-hand side today.
Maybe looking at that, they perhaps tactically, as said, Lord, we can get at them more on the left-hand side. I don't know.
Well, the left-hand side's the side that in every single graphic we attack more down. So that's with Luca Dean. So
But at least the two centre midfielders, this bears out what we were saying in the first half. There's more, barring the front three, there's more shape there and more proper
yeah,
shape. Two centre halves, fullbacks. Dean's obviously a bit further forward, but the fullbacks aren't getting too far forward. And you've got Louise McGinn and Kamara have got that little triangle, which that's what it should be with a 1-6 and 2-8, shouldn't it?
yeah.
But that front three looks odd. Just looks odd.
And here's the momentum bar of the game. We're the top, West Ham at the bottom, and you can see majority of the first half. It was Villa who had the majority of the football, and then second half it went a little bit bittier.
That's sorry to keep butting in, but that's a great stat, that is, because it doesn't half tell you the tale of the game. The first half, definitely agree, we were the better side. Then towards the end of the first half, we tired, and then they started okay. We had a little bit of a go, and then after that, 60-minute mark probably
Yeah,
onwards,
yeah.
and then we
This
had a bit of a
area
go
here,
last few minutes. Yeah, that's where they
that's where
totally.
the game was won, weren't it?
And that was the substitution, wasn't it?
Yeah,
When Coutinho was injured, but he decided to take Louise off as well, so gave them the momentum of the game.
yeah. So 45% of the game was played in the centre of the pitch. Villa attacked down the left-hand side more. West Ham was pretty left and right-hand side. So there are a few of the little stats from this game. So Justin, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Because if you're talking the next two games look likely to be losses, we're going to have
Yeah,
played six
6.
games, 5 losses and a win, probably. I know it's hard to look at things like that, but that's what it would look like. It's convenient that we've got a World Cup winter break, November to December, with no football. But
Well, how many games have we got until that break?
where I'm at, Justin, I just don't trust it to get any better.
No, well, I would agree, and that's
That's
the worry now.
my honest thoughts. Like Villa fans, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you disagree with what I'm saying? Do you disagree with what we're both saying? But I just think how is it going to get any better if you're trying to, because when he came in, he was like, it's very difficult mid-season to try and get your ideas across while you're still playing games. So you're sort of thinking, well, pre-season, you had 6 weeks, whatever, to get your ideas across. And I just can't see nothing. So it's frustrating, very
We got
frustrating.
we got 12 games now until the World Cup, which what we've played 4 games we've played, so that'd be 16 games, which is you're looking at half a season, aren't you, more or less? So do the owners stick with him and say you've got until the World Cup?
Well, it's going to be interesting now, the rest of this window, isn't it?
This is the problem now. When you have such a poor start like we have, which is, and like you said, within the next week, this time next Sunday, we're looking down the barrel of 5 losses out of 6. Realistically, let's be realistic. I'll predict a win every week. I will, but the realism is we're going to more than likely, barring a miracle, we're looking at 5 losses out of 6 now. So that then leaves us with 10 games until the World Cup. I can't imagine they're going to fire him before the transfer window shuts. But then can you imagine them suddenly shell out another 100 million quid on 3 players when we've had such a horrific start, knowing that another manager, if things do carry on as badly as they're going now, he's going to have to come in and change it up. And then that's a gamble, because if we don't sign 1 or 2 players, we're going to leave ourselves short, which is cutting your nose off to spite your face. So it's a mess. It's all round. It's a mess. It's a mess. And the obvious elephant in the room is Christian Perslow's special relationship with Steven Gerrard. So is he going to get more time because of the relationship between Perslow and Gerrard? Is he going to say to him, "You've got to turn this around"? We're going to give you a bit longer, but the worry is, and this is the bottom line, is we're not improving at all.
No.
This football club looks worse than it did when he came in.
Yeah.
We've consistently, for however many months he's been here, questioned his tactics almost from the first 3 or 4 weeks. I remember doing a pod very early on saying, crikey, the fullbacks don't half bomb on. And one of the first things I saw was John McGinn playing right back. And I thought, what's going on here? Don't understand it. I didn't understand it. I didn't understand the rationale behind it. I don't understand the tactical benefit of that
No.
at all. Because if your fullback's playing as a right winger and he loses the ball, and then generally a team is going to attack you, and you've got players
it
all
makes
over out of position.
You know, I was reading what Bailey's dad, or is it his stepdad or his dad, put on Instagram the other day, and he was saying, like, you know, he's bigging his son up as every parent would. But then I came away from it thinking, to be fair, you would be pissed off, because if you're a winger and you're watching our team play with fullbacks that are trying to attack like wingers that aren't as good as wingers, it is a bit weird, isn't it?
It's just,
you know, if you're thinking predominantly out wide, everything's coming from out wide, yet we've got a really highly sought after talented winger sat on the bench.
But if you want to play with wingers, pick 2 wingers. If your way of winning games of football is that you want your wingers, if that's the way you want to play, you want your wingers to fly down the wing and get balls into the box, then pick 2 wingers, play a different formation. He's almost invented a brand new way of playing football, and it's not working. So is it a surprise, that no one else is doing it? Because it ain't bloody working, is it? It worked in Scotland, but like I've said before, with all due respect to the Scottish Premier League, every other game apart from against Celtic is a walk in the park. I mean, Celtic won 9-0 today. I know Liverpool did yesterday, but that happens fairly regularly in Scotland when they win comfortably.
There's one team that play like we try and play, and that's Liverpool. Liverpool play with a similar formation to what we try and do, with Trent playing like right wing, Van Dijk leaving 2 back. But we're just never in that league. We're nowhere near that level to be able to play.
We're not, but that's barring yesterday. They haven't looked that great this season, but they have got probably better players in those positions that are the key positions, aren't they? The 2 fullbacks have been absolutely phenomenal in that system, and the 2 centre halves. Well, Van Dijk at least is a step up from what we've got. I don't know. It's just not working. The bottom line is whatever he's doing is not working. He's not getting the best out of an undoubted quality squad of players, and there's more rumours of discord and unhappiness coming out of Villa Park now than there has been in probably the last 3 years. So that's a worry. Players and their representatives are coming out and having a moan. You're hearing all sorts of rumours about things happening at the training ground that people aren't happy with this. Players that aren't playing are just they're not going to want to hang around if it's not going well. You've got the top players that we currently have, which is Yeremi Martinez's, and 1 or 2 others that are just going to say, I can get a move to a Champions League club. Boubacar Kamara, he'll get to a Champions League club if you're not careful. So the owners have got to think very carefully. I'm loath to say it, but I think whoever, we're going to struggle now to finish anywhere near 7th. I think that's gone already. 4 games in, that's gone. To finish 7th, you've got to have you've got to be on a level all the season, more or less. So 7th is gone. Mid-table is now the goal in the league and a cup run. We don't play again. I think we've got 1 more cup game until the World Cup, and that comes very late on, just before before the World Cup. So we've got 7 or 8, 9 games now to concentrate in the league. My gut instinct is, and I think it's probably prudent now, barring 2 absolute hammerings in the next week, which could happen. I don't see them firing him in the next 2 or 3 games. Although I know a lot of fans are calling for it now, for it just to do it, and I don't see that happening. I think realistically, they will probably give him till the World Cup because you've got 6 weeks then. So you've got a pre-season in the middle of the season. And the upheaval it brings, the hassle it brings, the manager has to come in and change everything and get settled. Unless there's a standout candidate that they have spoken to that would walk into the job tomorrow. I know everybody's mentioned Pochettino, and one or two of the managers that have been mentioned are currently in clubs that are doing well. So it's hard to get them managers out of clubs, and you can't really approach unless you've got a vacancy. So sacking him tomorrow and going after, say, a Potter, if that's the way they want it to go, that ain't going to happen for 2, 3, 4 weeks, if it happens at all, because they're not going to let him go without a fight. So Pochettino is the high profile name currently out of work. Would he fancy it? I would like to think he would, if we had a vacancy. So my gut instinct is that I think they will grin and bear the next week. I think the owners won't be expecting much, from what's coming the next week. I don't think any of us are expecting much, barring a couple of real chastening defeats. And then it's a matter of trying to pick up the pieces after that and try to move us away from what will be the relegation zone, I would think. Leicester away after that, Southampton at home, Leeds away, Forest away, Chelsea, Fulham, Brentford, Newcastle, and then the 2 Man United games, and then Brighton. The current form we're in, none of them games seem very easy, do they? And they all seem they're going to be difficult. So what we don't want to do is be entrenched in that bottom 3 by the time we get to the World Cup, because then it is a battle. Then we know we've been there before, and it's very easy to get sucked down and to not be able to grab yourself back up. So the owners have got to think very carefully now. But I think if there is going to be a change, if things do not improve, I think it'll be the Brighton game on Saturday, the 12th of November. If it's not going well, that'll be his last game. Is my gut instinct. Barring continually losing the next... If he lost the next 6 games, then I don't think any manager survives that, do they?
No, they do not. Just grim, it, Justin.
It's a shame. It's such a shame, because
come on here and do these, because you got to front it up. You can't not do them. You can't not hide. But then it's just not going the way we all want it to go, is it? And it's unfortunate, but
we've got to be honest, mate, haven't we? We enjoy the good times, and we enjoy the wins and the positive bits. But this is one of them tough periods now we're going to go into, and as a fan base, we need to stick together.
Yeah,
the fighting and the arguing and the
to be fair, I don't.
Twitter.
Do you know what though? It's one of them. And it's like when you got the negative lot and the positive lot, they clash for a bit, don't they? And then when it does turn bad, it's just
Everyone comes together. I think the other thing is once he loses the crowd, once they turn big time, you generally think that that's it for a manager. And I was saying to you on the way back, walking back after the game, that you've got the ones that we didn't want him in the first place, that are not happy that we're losing, but they're the I told you so, it was never going to work. So they're already gone. He's lost them now. You got the ones that were on the fence when he came in that wasn't too sure. I think they're probably gone now. I think they're in the he's got to go camp. And then you got ones that always hope for the best and don't want a manager's change because of all the crap and the upheaval it brings, and always trying to think positively and think, yeah, he can turn it around. Yeah, he can. Just give him a bit longer. Just give him a bit longer. And that I class myself as one of them. I'd still love him to turn it around, but I'm beginning to think I'm not sure he's capable. That's the bottom line.
No.
One of the best footballers that's ever played the game in this country, and there's never any doubt in that. But it doesn't always mean you're going to be a good manager, and it's looking like it's not going to end very well for him unless he's got a rabbit up his hat now. And I think the only way it turns around now is he throws his ethos out the window, he gets them all back in, and he changes his attacking game plan. And is he going to do that? No. Because he's a proud bloke, isn't he? He hasn't showed any inkling to do that at all.
I mean, the only thing that I can think of now is a way of him changing it without having to sort of swallow his pride. Do you know what I mean? Would be to sign a winger.
But then they've already gone out for one, haven't they? Sarr was a winger, but essentially he could play up top, but he's a winger. I mean, the only other thing is the owners go all guns blazing, and back him absolutely to the hilt in the next 6 days, and we go and sign 3 world class players. And if he can't get it going, then he's definitely out of a job, isn't he?
Yeah.
Because everybody's improved, haven't they? The teams that have come up have looked decent. To be fair, Newcastle, Wolves, although they're below us, they don't look bad at all. Newcastle, Eddie Howe's got them going. Everywhere you look on that league table, there's teams that are fighting and playing better than we are.
Yeah. The only ones that look terrible are the ones that we lost 2-0. So, yeah. But right, we'll end it here then. Thank you, everybody that's been watching. If you can comment in the comment section your thoughts on the performance, on Steve and Gerrard. Subscribe to our channel, drop the video a like, and vote for us for the Football Content Awards. Hopefully we can deliver.
I'll say one more thing as well. After the game today, it was lovely seeing all the people that came and had a chat with us. There was loads of people that came over today, and just lovely to speak to people that are like-minded, that like what we do and like the way we talk. And a few of them jumped on the fan cam as well. But it is a really nice little community we're building here, and there's some really nice people that are jumping on and coming over now and chatting to us. So yeah, I love it. I think that it's great.
Best part of the day.
Yep.
Up the Villa, and we'll be back tomorrow for a match preview against Arsenal. Bye.